we've now been joined by our fourth place finisher, Joey Logano. Joey, thank you for coming in. If you have any questions for Joey, raise your hand. We're going to work to get a mic to you. Maybe not. I will say, hang on a second, Jacob.
0 sense of urgency to get out of here, guys. No one believes this is real. Not all at once.
All right.
Oh, I get some good audio.
Yeah, go ahead, Jacob.
All right, this is a first. Jacob Zillman, Race Face Digital. Joey, you've been good at new racetracks the last couple of times we've done this until tonight. You came on strong at the end. What were you missing?
Yeah, I got damaged early in the race, like lap 3 there. Briscoe tried to get in, and we wheel hopped, and it kind of jumped the front of my car up and ripped the steering wheel right out of my hands and knocked the toe out about a half an inch. Then I just plowed the whole first run of the race, and so that puts you in adjustment behind, because on the 100-lap break, you're sitting there saying, okay, I was really tight, but is that because my toe is out a lot, or am I really that tight? So makes it a challenging adjustment, and really just kind of put us one adjustment behind. Yeah, I wish I didn't get that damage. I think I could have, maybe been in contention there. We had decent track position. Like I was just on, trying to manage where I was before the 100-lap break so I could still be in the hunt. And just had a couple of mediocre restarts where I just couldn't launch as good and let a couple cars down in front of me. And then the long haul there, I was able to get a couple cars there towards the end of the race. I was trying to position myself to where I was in the second row. And you never know what happens on a late race restart at a track like this. So, yeah, I mean, it was just trying to, stay semi-close and hope for a caution, which there never was. But overall, I'd say the race was pretty interesting.
For Blaney, as far as you coming from the back to end up second there, was that a case of maybe you had to use up just a little too much to get there, or just fading a little bit much at the end?
No, I got to top 10. I got to 10th before the break, and I kind of got to like the top 5 relatively quick. A couple restarts that went my way, and by the time I got to second, I saved a pretty good bit even to get to second, because I knew there was it might go the whole way, and and then it was just kind of like a game between the 9 and myself, like who can save more right rear tire. And, I just didn't quite have enough to lean on there at the end. I kind of started pushing with like 25 to go, and I didn't have enough. And I was like, I kind of need some help by lappers, and I just never really could get there. I kind of just didn't have enough to lean on. But, yeah, fun coming from the back, and just not quite having enough. But, yeah, it's always fun when you can move forward like that.
Okay, next question. Hang on, Bob. Let's wait and come back for a second, because you're gonna want video. Does anyone just need audio or a transcript for your answer? Anybody? All right, let's go to Zach next.
They all need audio, don't you? Doesn't everybody need it?
The fire department
just take a picture
here,
of us.
So we're working on it. Yes. Go ahead.
I'm going to do a courtroom sketch, is what but anyway. Zach Albert, NASCAR.com. What did both of you guys feel like just about the atmosphere, just the fans, the electricity before the race, and just kind of as it went on?
Yeah, I mean, outside of the atmosphere right now, the rest of it was really, really good. I thought the pre-race ceremonies was pretty cool. The fans being right there, it's what Bowman Gray is, right? You got the fans heckling you and saying whatever they want, and saying you're number one in 2 different ways. And so, I mean, that's what Bowman Gray was built off of. I don't know if you got the boos I got, but overall, I'd say, it was successful, right? I mean, you look at when fans are cheering and screaming and those type of things, the drivers' brands are being exposed to everybody, which is great, right? Like everyone has a favorite or not, and they're passionate about it. And when you get everyone this close, I mean, you look at yesterday, these people hung out from the modified race all the way until the heat, practice through the heat races. It was packed yesterday, and tonight was standing room only. So, from that standpoint, the atmosphere was successful.
Yeah, I agree with Joey. From the crowd yesterday, who hung out for 3 hours from the modifieds to when we first got on track. That's a lot of commitment and a lot of energy on the front stretch before we got going there, and that's what it's all about. So really, really cool to be here, and I'm happy that it was a good show for everybody. So looking forward to hopefully coming back next year. I don't see why you wouldn't come back. So hope everyone had a good time.
All right, go ahead.
Dustin Albino, JC, kind of building off that, like from the weekend overall, whether it was the racing itself or like you guys were mentioning the energy, how fun was this weekend?
I didn't win, so I didn't have that much fun. I don't really do it for fun at this point of my career. So, but I mean, it went better than I thought it could possibly go, right? You look at what the modified race was, and they were wrecking the crap out of each other, and you've seen, some heat races were very aggressive, but I think you got a little bit of everything here, right? You had the restarts where everyone was, bottled up, and I say they're, bulldogging around, right? I mean, that's kind of what it looked like for a while, a lot of contact, and it's very entertaining, right? I sat there and watched the LCQ, and I'm like, this is an entertaining race. Like, it's pretty good. And I'd say, as the race went on, you've seen the top lane kind of come in a little bit, and you can start to kind of work some crossovers and stuff, and tire wear was real, right? I mean, at the end there, I don't think anyone was getting wide open, not even close probably. So that was fun. I can't remember the last time I went around a racetrack and I didn't get wide open, right? It reminded me a little bit of the old days with the old car, which was a lot of fun, have that tire wear and that fall off to where it's you really got to manage your car and be a smart racer. We don't have that everywhere, so it's nice to see that Goodyear can bring that tire here.
All right, Bob, go ahead.
Hey, how about that? It should come to me earlier.
Bob was the secret formula.
Yeah. Don't believe that. One for each. Bob Hockers, Fox Sports. Ryan, did your tires did you just lose grip as you were just from wearing them out to chase them down, or was Chase able to more save his to be faster at the end to get through traffic?
Yeah, I think he just had better drive off than me that whole last round. Like, I turned better and he had better drive off, so it was kind of a trade off. I feel like, I felt like our cars were kind of evenly matched. My car was better in one area and his car was better than another, but I feel like if you just swapped our two cars, I feel like the end would have, I don't think we would have passed each other. If I was in front of him or if he was in front of me, I think we were pretty evenly matched. But yeah, when I started to go, I just didn't have enough right rear, and I'm like, oh shit, like I'm not gonna make this pass, right? Like, and I'm not gonna just bulldog him into him and get chased out of here with pitchforks. So, yeah, just when it was time to go, I just didn't quite have enough, and I could turn really good, but I paid the penalty on exit to where he could just kind of keep the power down a little bit longer, and the right rears seemed to wear out more than right fronts, so it just helped him out just a little bit more at the end.
I thought, Bowman Gray, you're supposed to get run out of here with pitchforks.
I don't know what you like, but that's not something I want to do.
And you said there's no reason to come back for either of you can answer this or both. Do you think it's imperative to come back next year, or sometimes for some of these events that NASCAR has had recently, it's almost like the second year isn't as bold as the first? Do you wait a few more years and then come back?
You're going to pack it out. There's going to be just as many people here next year if you come back as there was tonight. I don't think it would lose any of its luster. I don't know what you think.
I mean, from what I hear, they pack this place out every weekend without the star power of Cup guys. The people that come here are just race fans. Like, they just like racing. And so, and the other thing too, remember, it's not a huge stadium, right? So you pack it out and it looks good and the energy's real. And it's not like, you have this ginormous stadium and you get, half or 3/4 of it full, right? Like this is like, standing room only is kind of it's a special feel. It's hard to get the ticket, which, people want what they can't have, right? Like a lot of people probably watch this on TV and you weren't able to get the ticket here because there's a limited quantity. That maybe next year they get the opportunity to get tickets, right? Maybe they'll say, man, I need to get on it. And as soon as they start selling them, I need to be on it and get them, right? I mean, there's a little bit to be said about that as well. But on the same breath, I would say it's very important for us to move things around. We've seen the success of our sport moving to new racetracks, and I'm a big fan of going to new places and bringing the racetrack to the fans that don't typically get to see us because it's so hard to, for a lot of people to travel a long ways to see our races. So going to new places is huge for our sport, and we've done that, right, over the last, 5-6 years. We've added new racetracks quite often. So I think that's successful. Doing the same thing eventually gets stale, but I don't think that's going to happen here anytime soon.
All right, Mark, go ahead.
Mark Carroll, PRN. Was wondering if you could talk a little bit about the atmosphere now without the, the flashing lights and the siren. I went up in the grandstands to watch the start of the race, and you could tell that over half the crowd are the regulars, and it was like the rest of them had to be vetted. Either you hardcore, or you weren't allowed in the gate. I don't think I've ever had that kind of vibe at a cup race where only the hardcore were allowed in the gate to watch the race. And I seem to feel that vibe. And did the drivers feel it? And Ryan had told a story when you were here as a Bandolero driver. Remember a 7-year-old kid that was a bird lover and gave you the bird, every lap. I mean, are you conscious of those things? And did you feel that vibe tonight?
Yeah, definitely. It was neat to when you do intros on the front stretch, and kind of park car fans are right there, right? So it was neat to, hear them cheering and, supporting you. There's not a lot of places we go where we kind of do that, where they're that close and that passionate, right? Maybe a lot of them, but for whatever reason, everyone wants to have their opinion heard here, right? That's in the stands, and that's awesome to me. Whether good or bad, it's awesome that they're there and they're wanting to interact, and that is a hardcore race fan, right? So, it's I didn't see any birds tonight by the fans. Luckily, my eyesight isn't as good, so I might have been shot some. But no, I just think it was cool, and it was cool for the fans to stick around, for a good bit when we were doing interviews on the front stretch after the race. You could tell they were excited to be here, and they were excited for us to come and put on a heck of a show, and they appreciated, the race and things like that. So they're hardcore race fans, like you said, and you can't beat that anywhere else. And they've been like that here for, how long has this place been around? 90 years. So, you'll have that, which is good.
How did you feel about the vibe?
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, it was great. I think, when you look at whether it was yesterday, whether it was here in person, which was great, watching it on TV was great. There's not a bad seat in the house, which is awesome. And I think the fans, they build off of each other, right? I think as they sit next to each other, and they're that tight of quarters, and I'm sure they start jawing back and forth about who their favorite driver is, and everyone starts cheering louder and louder, right? We have such a unique sport, because when you go to a basketball game, there's a home team and the majority roots for one team, right? And in our sport, there's 40 of us out there, so it's pretty wild to see. The differences and all that's displayed on the driver intros, and I always say as long as they're making noise, they make noise for me, so that's good. It goes both ways, but it's noise, and that's always good.
All right, Joey, Ryan, thank you both for coming in. Thank you for your patience, and apologize for the extra headache we most likely gave you. Safe travels home.